Developing on NBC Boston tonight, an 8-year-old child fighting to stay alive after being pulled from a boat that capsized off Cape Cod. We're live with one of the men who pulled passengers to safety. Plus,
you just can't bring your kids around anything like this.
New at 11, witnesses describe a violent evening on Boston Common that left 2 people stabbed and suspects in custody. Also new.
And a Medfield mom rushed to the hospital in Boston after a tree branch gives way and hits her in the head. We'll have a live report. And
a traffic headache unfolding for the morning commute as construction of the ComAv Bridge gets underway. NBC Boston Tonight starts right now.
This is NBC Boston Tonight.
Good evening. I'm JC Monahan in for Shannon Malaire.
And I'm Chris Emma in for Phil Lipoff. A very busy night in Boston, beginning with the latest on this dramatic rescue in Wareham.
Tonight, we know an 8-year-old is fighting to stay alive after this boat overturned with 9 kids and 3 adults on board.
And we're bringing you live team coverage. Our Susan Tran will join us in just a moment. But first, NBC Boston's Michael Rosenfield joins us now with the very latest. Michael?
Chris, this was a harrowing day out here on the water. 12 people going overboard, one of them trapped under the boat. A frantic rescue on the water, an 18-foot powerboat capsizing on the Cape Cod Canal. Good Samaritans who heard the radio calls for help raced to the scene, including Michael Margulis, who'd been diving nearby, servicing moorings in Buzzards Bay.
I was fully dressed in my wetsuit and I had my dive gear rigged, ready for another dive, so I thought I could aid and assist by just showing up.
When Margulis made it to the scene, 8 children and 3 adults had already been plucked from the water by another Good Samaritan, but an 8-year-old boy was still missing, so Margulis went in the water.
I switched my dive gear over and went over the rail and started searching a submerged boat. One victim was wearing a life jacket that was stuck in the bow section of the boat. I was able to free that person and bring him to the surface.
Margulis making the heroic rescue. The child was unconscious. CPR was performed and the little boy rushed to the hospital. The current today choppy and difficult for many to handle.
My boat was swamped and it was really rough conditions, 4 to 6 foot waves plus a current. It was just nasty. It was a sunny day, but real nasty on the water.
Tonight, the child is still in the hospital. Several agencies are investigating, trying to figure out what exactly went wrong, but it's possible that there were just too many people on board that boat. We're live tonight in Wareham. Michael Rosenfield, NBC Boston.
Michael, thank you. And tonight, the Coast Guard is also crediting the captain of another boat who actually saw the capsized boat in distress and pulled 9 of the victims to safety.
NBC Boston's Susan Tran just spoke to that Good Samaritan. She joins us live now in Buzzards Bay, where those victims were taken to safety. Susan?
And Chris, the captain of this boat, says he heard screaming and crying. Now, his boat was an educational one, and they had just finished life-saving techniques when they spotted that capsized boat with everyone in the water, and that's when they rushed in to help.
Crying, and the thing they were screaming at us more than anything else was that there was one kid that they couldn't account for. They were missing one of their kids. That was kind of heartbreaking.
By the time Martin Van Breems and his crew on the Disco Volante got to the scene of an overturned boat in the Cape Cod Canal, there were parents and children from 3 different families, he says, spilled out into the bay. I heard one of the daughters telling her mom, "I love you, Mom. We're going to make it." I mean, it was scared. It was just after 4:30, and Martin, with his crew of a co-captain and 4 students, had actually just finished practicing man-overboard drills. My co-captain was the first one to spot this overturned boat with people in the water. Martin says everyone had a life jacket on, and they were able to quickly get 8 children and a woman out of the water and onto their 40-foot sailboat. We're glad to have been able to get them out and comfort them, and got them down below. They were shivering and crying, and just was a harrowing scene. To see the family in distress and be able to help them was a pretty special thing.
Now, this sailboat set sail in Connecticut off to Maine, and after they were heroically able to deliver all the passengers here in Buzzards Bay, they set sail again. They are now out at sea and set to arrive in Maine in the morning. That's the very latest. Live in Buzzards Bay, Susan Tran, NBC Boston.
Susan, thank you so much. And we have calls out for the very latest on the condition of that young victim. For any breaking details on his condition, plus the investigation as to why this boat capsized in the first place, just go to NBCBoston.com or download the free NBC Boston mobile app. Well, new at 11, a woman is now recovering in the hospital after a tree branch fell on her in Medfield.
NBC Boston's Catherine Sotnick joins us live right where this happened tonight with more details. Catherine?
And JC, information still developing right now, but we can confirm that a mom from Medfield was rushed to Brigham and Women's Hospital tonight in Boston after a large tree branch gave way in her yard, sending a wooden swing plummeting to the ground. This is a live look here behind me at this house. Again, a quiet little house here in Medfield. At this point, we do not know this woman's condition, but you can see there is the tree branch down over there, the wooden swing as well. And this is what we know happened just after 6 p.m. here on Phillip Street in Medfield. We did speak to a man who came out of this house. He says the victim is a mom of 3. She possibly could have been on this wooden swing when the branch snapped. At this point, all of that is very unclear. The first reports came in that she was airlifted to the hospital, but we've since learned that she was taken by ambulance with head injuries. We do not know exactly how severe those head injuries are at this point, but she was rushed to a hospital in Boston, waiting to get another update from the Medfield police chief sometime tomorrow morning. We're live here tonight in Medfield with developing news. I'm Catherine Sotnick, NBC Boston.
Kat, thank you. Now to an update on that double stabbing in Boston Common. One person is now under arrest. 2 others are in police custody. All this happening right around 5:30 on Tremont Street, right near the Park Street T-stop. NBC Boston was first to bring you the live pictures from that scene, and police say it started as a fight between 2 groups. Then it escalated.
Unfortunately, they had their disagreement, and the only good thing is let's all pray that the individual makes it, but we got who's responsible. So, you know, the Common's a safe place. I don't want people to be afraid to come down here.
Hearing from Commissioner Evans there. After the attack, the suspects ran into the T station, and then police took them into custody. Both victims were rushed to the hospital. One has a serious stab wound on the stomach. The other is expected to be okay. Their identities have not yet been released. Developing right now, you're taking a live look right now as crews replace the Comm Avenue Bridge.
Oh, this is just the beginning of a 3-week-long project. NBC Boston's Audrey Assistio joins us in studio with the travel headaches drivers can expect. Audrey?
JC and Chris, after 5 years of planning, the project to replace the Comm Ave Bridge has started, and this is a live look at the work that started at around 9 o'clock tonight. You could see a number of construction workers already out there, construction vehicles as well. You can notice behind them vehicles are still able to move through this area, so traffic getting through, but you know that that's going to be a very different situation later on. No matter how you get around town, by car, the T, the commuter rail, or Amtrak, you will be affected for the next 3 weeks. Tonight, buses began replacing subway service on a section of the Green Line B branch. Tomorrow night, Comm Ave will be closed to drivers from Kenmore Square to Packard's Corner. Then on Friday night, the Pike will be limited to just 2 lanes in each direction at peak travel periods. Here's what the MBTA Interim General Manager told us tonight.
There's obviously no good time to do a major construction project like this, but we hope we've picked a time that lessens the inconvenience for a lot of people. We do understand that it is tough for our customers. We're going to do our best to get them where they're going quickly and comfortably.
Well, people are urged to avoid the area if possible. For the full list of changes and detours, just go to the NBC Boston app and search bridge replacement. Live in the studio, Audrey Assistio, NBC Boston.
Audrey, thank you. And of course, as Audrey just mentioned, the project will impact the morning commute. As you can see at the bottom of your screen, our Natasha Verma keeps you ahead of the traffic every day. So you can tune in to NBC Boston today, starting at 4:30 a.m., or check the hashtag NBC Boston before you head out.
Driving home tonight's not going to be very fun either. All right, we go now to early warning weather. Boy, we had a beautiful day today.
Gorgeous. Hopefully it keeps going, Pete.
It looks like it will, yeah, into tomorrow, too. We have some sunshine in store for tomorrow, and our temperatures in the mid-60s right now, not half bad. However, we may finish with a few showers or a rumble of thunder tomorrow afternoon. A change of pace, right? All summer long it's been like this. 70 right now in Lawrence and Fitchburg. The high pressure is giving way to this weather front here, this cool front, which slices through tomorrow night. Doesn't slice through cleanly, though. We might have a few more showers heading into the weekend. Temps tomorrow start off in the 60s, go for the 70s to near 80 degrees. Much of the day is dry. We'll time out the rain for you tomorrow and also look at that rain coming in for the weekend. How much is coming? When does it wrap up? The details in just a minute, JC.
Pete, thank you. A tragedy tonight in Ohio. At least one person is dead, 7 are hurt after a ride malfunctioned at the Ohio State Fair. Firefighters say a row of seats broke off the Fireball ride while it was in motion. All rides now are shut down until inspectors can make sure they're safe. And tonight, 5 of those victims are in critical condition, including a 13-year-old boy.
A surprising announcement today from President Trump via Twitter. The president saying that transgender people will not be allowed to serve in the military, saying it's too costly and a disruption. And now, strong reaction from Washington. Today from the president's Twitter account, political threats and new policy. President Trump announcing transgender individuals will no longer be allowed to serve in the U.S. military, citing tremendous medical costs and disruption. A strong about-face from then-candidate Trump, who called himself a friend of the LGBT community.
Who's better for the gay community and who's better for women than Donald Trump?
On Capitol Hill, outrage.
Yeah, I cannot imagine making military and national security policy by tweet.
From Republican Senator and war hero John McCain, any American who wants to serve our country should have the opportunity to do so and should be treated as the patriots they are.
It's a very difficult decision. It's not a simple one, but the president feels that it's the best one for the military.
And a Twitter attack first on Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski, one of 2 Republicans voting against yesterday's health care measure. Then once again targeting his own Attorney General Jeff Sessions. His former Senate colleagues now rushing to his defense.
He's trying to get Sessions to quit, and I hope Sessions doesn't quit.
Jeff Sessions stuck his neck out for this president, and now look what the president's doing to him, chopping his head off.
For his part, Sessions is showing no signs of stepping down, and his staff says he isn't going to. Transgender people in the military have been able to serve openly since June of 2016. The White House has not said what will happen to transgender people who are already in the military. And we will continue to follow the very latest developments on this story. Be sure to tune into the Today Show tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. right after NBC Boston Today, beginning at 4:30 a.m. Well, new at 11, an update on a mother of 4 who's now fighting deportation.
What we're learning tonight is she takes sanctuary in a church.
Plus, the story that sounds like a horror story of a one-armed man dressed like a clown, also wielding a machete.
And a Florida officer takes on an alligator with his body camera rolling the whole time. NBC Boston Tonight is back in just 60 seconds. Welcome back to NBC Boston. An unusual scare for folks in Waterboro, Maine. A one-armed man in a clown mask brandishing a machete was seen walking down the road and then ducking into the woods. 31-year-old Corey Berry was apparently drunk and the machete was taped to his amputated arm. Police say he told them it was just a prank. Residents are calling the incident unsettling.
Clown's supposed to be happy. That clown would scare the daylights out of anybody.
Berry was arrested and charged with criminal threatening.
Well, Waltham Fire needs your help. They're trying to determine what sparked Sunday's 10-alarm fire that destroyed this apartment building right here. It was under construction at the time, and now investigators are asking anyone with pictures or video from that fire's early stages to please contact Waltham Fire. Also new tonight, a Connecticut mother of 4 can now return home after she took sanctuary in a church to avoid deportation. Nuri Chavaria has gotten permission to stay here every year for 24 years until last week when the papers never came. Well, now Chavaria has gotten a stay to remain in the country. Worcester police are now investigating a suspicious death after they found a dead body while putting out a small apartment fire. Police say that 54-year-old David Carlson's body had a head wound and he was badly burned. One person of interest, a 28-year-old acquaintance who was recently arrested for shoplifting lighters.
All right, let's check in with Pete with what's up in the early morning weather.
Have some showers and maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon into the evening. We're checking the weekend forecast too, JC.
Always important. Plus, it's all work and no play for the Pats as they deal with the pressure of being the defending Super Bowl champs.
Welcome back. We're halfway through the week, so of course, what are we focusing on?
Nice weekend. Well, the weekend.
Yeah.
That too. I was just focusing on a nice day tomorrow. I enjoyed it.
Training camp? I mean,
I was caught in the middle of it.
Many answers to that question, but my eyes are on the weekend.
Amen. They are. Yes, we're thinking about the weekend, JC. We're thinking all about it, and I'm worried about that Saturday forecast ring in my hands, thinking maybe we start off a little wet. 67 degrees, wind out of the south-southwest, 11 miles an hour. 70 in Lawrence right now, 66 in Nashua. We're in the 60s down through southeastern Mass, and that is Cape Cod, but the Vineyard is 57 degrees right now. Odd man out there. We will see temps that'll cool off into the 60s and 50s in some of the cooler spots, but it's all dependent on how much cloudiness we have, and right now it seems like we have a lot. High, thin clouds. Or some showers moving into northern New England. We might wake up with a couple of sprinkles, nothing big. Then we turn it over to the building clouds, which could build into a thunder shower in the afternoon. I don't think this is a big deal. I think we'll see 1 or 2 storms, and that's about it, coming through Fitchburg and Lowell, and maybe into Lawrence, your best chance for seeing these. They're non-severe storms, too, so this isn't a big outbreak that we're looking at tomorrow. There's energy, yes, but limited moisture. You'll note that the humidity is not all that high for tomorrow. So our temperatures respond to the little sun we get, and we get up close to 80 degrees. Thunder should linger between about 2 and 7 p.m. tomorrow. That's the time frame for it. That's what I was trying to show you there. Sun and clouds on Friday, more in the way of clouds in the afternoon, still near 80 degrees. And then we get into this weather system that comes in. Oh no, is it for the weekend? Well, it looks like a lot of this is trying to stay south. Our exclusive NBCU forecast system has the probability of precipitation, what we call the POP, hop on pop, into the 50 or 55% range, maybe even 60 to 65% range on the Cape and the Islands. Unfortunately, this does look like a wet day for you on the Cape and the Islands. Buzzards Bay on Saturday. We should get the showers up through Worcester and Boston, but as we go through the afternoon, those push south and east and keep the wet weather going across Provincetown, Providence, and Taunton, Plymouth as well, through much of Saturday, whereas the sun may be breaking out in southern New Hampshire, northern Massachusetts too, as we go through the late day. Our rain shower activity will amount to not a whole lot in Boston and points north, but down through New Bedford and Barnstable, Nantucket, maybe up to 1 inch to ½ an inch. So tonight, 62 degrees, partly cloudy, comfy and dry. And 77 tomorrow, partly sunny with a few afternoon storms popping up. Again, that 2 to 7 p.m. time frame. I'm not going to sugarcoat Saturday. I don't like the looks of it with the temperature either, and it's a little windy. There'll be some breezes on the coastline that could gust up to 30 miles an hour on the Cape. What? This is like a mini coastal storm. I'm not going to call it a nor'easter, nor should you. We'll just move on. Sunday looks better, temps in the 70s. Next week, it's about summer again, and it's about the 80s coming back into the picture with some humidity too. We'll see you tomorrow. JC.
Pete, thanks. Take a look at this video, okay? This is a Florida police officer who just earned the nickname the Alligator Wrangler. Pretty clear to see why, right? Officer Alfredo Vargas couldn't wait for Florida Fish and Wildlife, so he got the gator into the car himself, then released it, and he says he's taken gator wrestling lessons. Who knew, right? It's actually a thing. Airports around the country are stepping up security screenings. The TSA announced today the new rules heading to checkpoints nationwide. Any electronics larger than a cell phone must now be placed in a separate screening bin. Experts say if you're planning to fly anytime soon, get to the airport early.
I think passengers can expect longer wait times. There's really just no way that you can start dumping more items out of a bag and somehow keep the lines going the same speed.
All right, keep in mind, though, the new rules for electronics are already in place at Logan Airport, but Homeland Security decided to expand the policy nationwide to stay ahead of any growing threats.
Happening tomorrow, a Plymouth man, he will attempt to set a Guinness World Record by, listen to this, pulling a car more than 16 feet while walking on his hands. Mark Getty already has 2 world records for hand walking, and Thursday morning, he'll try it again by pulling a Mini Cooper while walking on his hands. I need to see this. Some lucky high schoolers in South Boston working a summer job where instead of serving up lattes, no, they're serving their futures. These Artists for Humanity, the nonprofit pairs urban youth with creative mentors, teaching them painting, photography, woodworking, and more. Students get $11 an hour and a 50% commission on anything they sell.
They get this great infusion of creativity and respect and even some money in their pocket to help them make good life decisions.
Yeah, not a bad summer job, right? Best of all, the kids can see their hard work hanging in public all over town, and they can put the profits right in their pockets.
That's great. Makes them feel good. They're earning money. All right.
Win-win.
Raul is here right now, and you're going to talk about the Pats.
Yeah, it's time to talk football.
It's about time.
So much. Crazy to think Tom Brady turns 40 next week. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Some of his teammates weigh in on the young man entering his 18th season. You're going to hear it coming up. Plus, at 20 years old, Rafael Devers delivers. And he's a part of Red Sox rich history. Oh, and Chris Sale was on the mound today. All that and more. Sports is next.
But first, Raul, here's what's coming up on The Tonight Show.
Hey guys, John Boyega is my guest tonight. Plus, we have YouTube stars Rhett and Link, music from Kygo and Ellie Goulding. Do not change the channel, it's great.
All right, we'll get to those Patriots in a bit, but first let's talk baseball. And before the Red Sox finish their game, the Yankees won to move half a game back the Sox, so the pressure is on Boston. And you got to give this young man some credit. How about that? So far, Rafael Devers handling the pressure of playing in the big leagues quite well. Red Sox and Mariners wrapping up their series, and there's Devers starting for a second straight day, and he's looking for his first career hit. And Devers delivers. He can crush it, can he? He's the youngest Sox player to hit a home run since Tony C in 1965. Sox up 2-0. Top four now. Same score. Sandy Leon showing off those guns. That's a 2-run homer to right. His sixth of the year. Sox up 4-0. And then there's Chris Sale. How great has this guy been? He got his American League leading 13th win of the year. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 11 strikeouts. Sale has not allowed a run in 4 of his last 5 starts. And the Sox snap a 4-game losing streak, 4-0 your final. They're off tomorrow night. They host the Royals on Friday. David Price is on the mound. At 9:15 tomorrow morning, Tom Brady and the boys will begin their quest for Lombardi Trophy number 6. Number 12 turns the big 4-0 next week. While it doesn't look like he's declining, some anonymous NFL assistants are telling Bleacher Report's Mike Freeman that they are expecting a major drop-off this season. Jealousy. Who knows? But the bottom line is he's still producing. And his 41-year-old offensive coordinator says nothing has changed.
We have a competitive room. You know, I don't really talk about age in there a whole lot. I mean, you know, there's you know, a wide variety of that across our team. So that's really a non-factor for us.
The guy's been able to have such longevity at a high level. So, you know, I don't see a reason, you know, why he would slow down.
You know, I'll be waiting to see, just like you guys, where it ends up. Remember, KG said anything's possible.
Actually said it was more like, anything is possible. Anyway, we do have some good news today about the Celtics star Isaiah Thomas. According to Danny Ainge, he won't need surgery on his injured hip. In fact, the president of basketball operation added that he's already making good progress and is on the court shooting and is full speed ahead. Thomas suffered the injury in March and re-aggravated it in the playoffs, leading him to miss the back half of the Eastern Conference Final. That's great news. Back to the NFL. And I don't know about you guys, but I miss this guy so much. Martellus Bennett was a great soundbite, spoke his mind, was a character on and off the field, played through injuries. Well, he's now with the Packers, and let's just say he's excited to be there.
Tonight I'm sleeping on the floor in my locker. Camp life, day one.
So Marty wasn't late for training camp, but he was too late to check into the dorms at the college, they're saying, so he drove over to Lambeau Field, spent the night sleeping on the locker room floor. Seriously, man. I miss you so much.
I miss him too.
You miss the sound bites. You miss listening
That
to
man had
the
the filthiest mouth, I have to say. We had to bleep his sound bites so much. It was fun.
And also him talking about The Martian last season was my favorite moment.
He talked about bacon more than anything. I'm telling you, it's a good time.
We miss you, man.
You can still watch him.
Now he's with the Packers now.
That's great. Okay, he's moving on. A reminder, NBC Boston, NECN, Telemundo Boston, gathering classroom supplies for schools and students throughout New England in our treat truck. Visit our website, NBCBoston.com, to find out where our treat truck team will be next. And to donate, just click on the Supporting Our Schools giving page.
devilish humor from a Tennessee church as they work through a scorching summer.
That's right. Take a look here. This sign reads, "Too hot to keep changing the sign. Sin bad, God good. Hear more Sunday at 10 a.m." Church members say that they're happy the church is keeping its cool, even if the weather is not. Simple to the point.
Direct to the point, exactly.
He's
God
making a
good.
comeback. Sinbad's back.
Good.
Oh, here we go.
I had to go there.
Bad joke.
No real heat for us,
Just let it
though.
go. No, it looks like temps in the 70s near 80 tomorrow.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
I'm Jason Monahan, the only one who can hold it together.
No.
Here's the Tonight Show.